Hello,
Hello there.
I'm Noguchi.
I'm Snack.
We're the lead developers for Legends of Avenir.
What else do people say at the start of these?
I don't know.
Okay, all right, we're just gonna start.
Yeah. For
We're
those of you,
developers of Nintendo.
yes. For those of you who have not heard of this hack before or have not seen us in our last couple of FEE3 appearances, this is Legends of Avenir. It is an entirely choice-driven Fire Emblem hack. So you create a character, then your choices in the story directly affect what chapters you end up playing. And every playthrough is 7 chapters, but at this point, there's about 50 chapters actually built in the game right now.
We're also the Sacred Stones, and also not.
Yes, this is. We finally have a work in progress title screen. This isn't final, obviously. But we have a world map made and inserted. We'll see more of that.
Yeah,
soon.
we're very proud of our world map. It's wonderful.
It is absolutely stunning. So a lot has changed in Avenir in the past year since our last appearance. So we're going to start off this playthrough for today. We're not gonna be doing a whole playthrough like we've done in the past. We're just gonna be showing off a few new chapters, never before seen. And the prologue might look a little bit different this time around as well.
Just a little bit.
Okay, maybe a lot bit.
Maybe just a few little changes.
The prologue was a common criticism of Avenir, and we didn't really feel the motivation to sit down and completely rework it until very recently. So we did, and now it is stunning. It is beautiful. Hopefully people find it a better way to deliver initial information in the story, and it is a much more user-friendly way of doing everything. I feel it's less clunky, it's prettier.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, the previous prologue was like a lot of talk events on a map, which was kind of clunky and hacky. So I turned around and said, hey, I mean, menus are kind of fun to work with. So I just did a bunch of custom menu wizardry, and we have a character creator now.
Yeah, this is honestly one of the coolest things I think Snek has done for Avenir at this point is the character creator. It lets you see what your character will look like. It gives you a outline of what stats you're going to be seeing, and it also lets you pick a boon and bane for your character now, so you'll be able to change some of your base stats and growth rates.
No, go ahead.
We've also been working on magic root stuff, so as you can see, these are the classes that the player will have access to when the magic roots are released to the public in any capacity, which is still a ways off.
Yeah.
But they have begun.
We also have the strength magic split from the skill system. We have hybrid classes, and we've taken precautions to make sure that they're balanced. And I personally think we've balanced them. We'll see a couple Spellswords pretty soon in the Mage chapter, which will be starting.
Yes, we will be showing off the first two. We'll be showing off the first chapter of the Mage route, even one of the potential second chapters of the Mage route.
We also have a boon and bane system that comes with the character creator. You load with these exact stats that they show you with the effects of the boon and bane that you choose. So as a shaman, skill is kind of screwed, so to balance that out, I'm going to fix that. Alternatively, I could have just gone fun and unbalanced and gone speed shaman. Just broken, but unreliable.
I was doing speed shaman in my test, and I couldn't hit anything in the first chapter.
Yeah, so for a reliable playthrough, I'm gonna go skill and resistance to balance it out. There's also a random option, which is funny, but I'm not gonna reset all of these for a random option.
Yeah. The boon and bane numbers do vary based off of how we see the importance of the stat. So, like, because luck is often a larger stat for a lot of people and generally seen as pointless, we made the luck numbers much more staggering for boon and bane than for any other stats. And HP also has a similar effect with that.
Man.
So now we do the ever frowned upon quick scroll through of all of the countries in a Fire Emblem game, but I think it looks cool because, you know, it looks like FE8, but also just because there's no real way with the way Avenir is structured to organically deliver this world-building information to you.
There are stray pixels on Hadric's outline. That's okay.
There are, yes.
Working on the world map, invoking it within an event engine and getting all of the event codes to work with all the necessary procs to run was a time. But I'm going to be releasing this sort of system that allows you to do this in cutscenes. Eventually, that's something on my checklist. I did these glowy regions manually with the ohm data and splitting up the images. That was a lot of fun. The power hack too is going to be released eventually.
It was a time, but having it all done now will make it more accessible to us in the future for future chapters and reworking older chapters.
So this is our first custom mug that we're seeing. This is Xena by Vlak, yes?
Yes. The right mug is a Blitz placeholder.
Yes.
And we'll be seeing mostly Blitz placeholders right now.
Yeah. Mage chapters have just been very recently designed and such, so we've got more completed portraits on the mercenary and military routes.
So, Mage routes start off, for those who have played the hack, you know that in the mercenary routes you kind of start off as a lone freelancer, just kind of doing a job, and you get attacked by bandits. In the military routes, you're a cadet of the military, and then you're taking your graduation exam, and we decided for the Mage routes, we were going to have you be a scholar of sorts, and you're going to start off doing some field work looking for an artifact.
There's a lot of lore world-building stuff that's flying by that might be confusing if you're new to Avenir, but it should make a lot more sense if you've played at least one or two routes since then. Just to clarify, there are 5 routes per route, 5 paths per route you can take, and we have 24 chapters in each route, that is mercenary, military, or mage. So there's a lot of this kind of lore scattered throughout each of those paths, and the more you play, the more it all sort of makes sense. It's quite the task for Noguchi to try to make sure each individual chapter makes sense, but also be able to unravel more of the lore as you play more paths.
It's a time. Also, I want to give a quick shout-out, because we haven't mentioned it yet, but you've heard a couple of original pieces written for Avenir, actually, at this point. There's the title theme on the main menu was Chair, and a few other things, I think. I can't really hear the music on my end right now.
We had, is this an Accusator piece?
No, I think this isn't anything, but I think we had Aquatic Dystopia.
Aquatic Dystopia was Accusator.
Yes, Aquatic Dystopia was our friend Accusator.
Yes.
And then, did we have Avatars of Avenir?
Yeah, that was Chair. Chair has done a hell of a lot of pieces really fast for us that I think are all very good. We'll hear quite a few of those.
We now have, I forget the exact number, but like, maybe it's 6 attack themes, 6 defense themes, and 6 boss themes. Probably most of which are written by Chair. There's a few that are Accusator or Thunder Phoenix, but...
So you can see we've got the Bane and Boon has gone into effect already. We can see that the growths are being modified. Tact starts out pretty decent. Every tact and every route should be at least solid, but not necessarily overpowered. Xena's actually the first Chapter 1 Jagan we've used, so she's...
She's only the second, like, pre-promote that we have in Avenir, the other being Vicar in the Bandit routes who joins in Chapter 2.
Oh, that battle background is bad. That's okay. Oops. This is also, by the way, the Desert Bastion tile set, which I just recently inserted. It's very nice.
Also, it's also worth mentioning, I think, the boss of this chapter, Lakshmi. Her portrait is done by random wizard with some
yes.
assets done by Nicked.
Yep.
So, and again, one of those pretty cool that we have a portrait for Lakshmi because she didn't exist until about a week and a half ago.
Yep.
That's about how that went. Xena is a Dread Fighter, which is one of our Tier 2 Spellsword classes.
Yes.
And we mentioned we had balanced Spellswords. The way we did that is on player phase, Spellswords can attack with magic, but on enemy phase it will automatically equip whatever sword is highest in their inventory.
Right,
so they cannot counter with magic.
Anything that says cannot counter with magic, like not all Spellsword classes do this, but any Spellsword we consider a physical main class cannot use magic on enemy phase. Yeah. But they can still attack with magic on player phase, and like Noguchi said, their sword will be re-equipped for whatever physical weapon they may use. And that
enemy phase.
Experience should have gone to tact, but whatever.
It's okay. Again, some hybrid classes are exceptions to this rule, such as Mage Knights are not limited by player phase, enemy phase, because magic is meant to be their main weapon, and the physical weapon is more of a utility for use against enemies with weak defense, basically.
Yeah. Oh, I've also, since the last FEE3, we've completely rewritten the EXP routine from scratch in C. So, we use a few different mechanics. We take into effect, what is it? Damage that has been avoided, damage that's been dealt. There's a bonus for killing a boss, there's a bonus for killing a unit. At first we tried to do something that was like an exponential routine, but given that you can't really handle decimals in the GBA, it really didn't work out. So we went with the next best thing, and personally I think it works well. We haven't gotten any complaints about it.
Yeah.
It scales.
I think most people.
Yeah, it scales pretty hard with level. So if Tack starts getting a little too powerful, we'll see he just stops getting very much experience.
And it's also even more punishing for units that are very high level. For example, when I was testing this last night, I observed that Xena ended up killing Lakshmi and got 1 EXP for killing the boss.
Yes.
It can be even more punishing to crush yourself with your pre-promotes, especially because in Avenir we try to truly keep them to the decent bases, pretty shoddy growths region of things.
Xena's pretty good right now, but like Vicar is viable in all the bandit endgames because of its just overpoweringly high strength. But otherwise he's not extremely exceptional, and he can really steal a lot of experience. This was a mistake. Okay, I guess this is going to Xena.
Most of the Mage root characters right now are not even remotely balanced, just because we haven't figured out long term how everything will look for the Mage roots entirely yet.
Oh no.
Really quickly, since I talked about music, I'll go ahead and hit one of our questions we got for this.
Yeah.
Accusator had asked us if we plan on eventually getting rid of all FE8 vanilla music, and I'm not opposed to it. There's a couple of tracks in FE8 that I do think are really good and might stay in the game. I wouldn't say getting rid of all of FE8 music is necessarily a goal we have, but using mostly different music is something we definitely intend to. We definitely have done and intend to continue doing.
And here's our first route split.
So if you remember if you know the mercenary routes, your first route split is either to join some bandits or help a militia defend from the bandits. In the military routes, you either get to defend, or you either get to accept or decline a promotion. And then here you can either do what you originally came here to do and investigate the ruin, or you can return to Arcane with Xena because you're worn out and you're worried about just the future of what you were doing.
And if you investigate the ruin, the game will very quickly crash because that chapter doesn't exist.
Precisely.
Did we mention the chair battle themes?
We did.
Okay. Yeah,
We have a lot of different battle themes. The way they're structured mostly is pretty much military, magic, and mercenary routes all have 2 sets of battle themes, one for the first half, one for the second half of the playthrough. A couple other questions that are kind of related to things we have already discussed. Random Wizard asked us where we got the idea for Spellswords, and that was really just kind of... We knew we wanted hybrid classes because we both think they're cool, but we also wanted to make sure we knew how to balance them. We felt that just making sure that they had higher strength to incentivize using the physical weapon wasn't really going to do anything, because res is typically so low. Which res in Avenir is a little bit different anyway, because we've kind of rebalanced res on a lot of classes. Example off the top of my head is Myrmidons have higher res than they used to.
I think they need a bit of a nerf, but they're still supposed to have pretty high res.
Yeah.
Like mages, for example, don't necessarily have good res, but shamans have good res and monks have very good res.
Yeah, monks and bishops and whatnot are still going to be your big resistance tanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just kind of bouncing ideas off of each other, and that was how we ultimately came up with the idea for Spellswords. Also, he asked Cleric Tact when? Probably never.
I mean, see, Monk Tact has access to staves, so
Monk Tact has access to staves, so Cleric Tact would just be objectively worse than Monk Tact.
Just use Monk Tact and throw away all your light magic, and you have Cleric Tact.
Yeah.
There's so many of them. Yeah, Miss Lane is just kind of being a dick, so we don't like him anymore.
Yeah, Miss Lane is kind of getting bullied by Uzkalis, and so unfortunately our actions are having lasting consequences. This is a character that we know and love, especially if you've seen our last FEE3 recording.
Ah, yes.
Which is our friendly vigilante, Zaheva. Zehuva.
This is a new character who doesn't have a mug yet. It does have a palette. We're missing a lot of palettes because we just have a lot of characters and classes, and we're not...
especially with a change we made that we will see the effects of later with how certain characters work class-wise. Gonna hit a couple more questions just so that I make sure we get through all of them. A few things related to stuff we've already discussed. Bart's, who, by the way, shout out to Bart.
Oh my god.
Sponsored
Bart's
numerous
the absolute
mugs.
legend.
He's sponsored numerous mugs for us, including Zaheva's mug, which was made by 80.
Thank you, Bart's.
Who I believe Zaheva's mug is also getting a rework at some point.
Really?
And Ajax's mug has also been sponsored by Bart's for whenever he ultimately gets made.
Ajax is a very recent character.
Yeah, Ajax stemmed from me wanting to have... Normally, if I can fit a pre-existing Avenir character into a specific role, I do, but I didn't have another character that I felt like would make sense to do what Ajax just did, so I created a new character. Anyway, as I was saying about Bart's questions, he asked what are the class choices for female tact in the Mage route? Same as for male tact. The only route where the class choices actually differ as of present is the Merc route. So you will have access to Mage, Shaman, Monk, and Spellsword, which Bart's also, again, asked if we have Spellsword as a class choice. Yes.
We're excited for that.
Yeah. Bart's also asked, what is the EXP and routine in Avenir like? Snek already explained that one.
Yeah, we just saw Tact got, like, no experience, because it looks like all of these Arcanians are a little under-leveled.
He also asked about the colored HP bars. They're just colored after whatever allegiance the character has.
We had those last year, and they start flashing once you get on lower HP.
Yeah, once you get to a certain amount of HP, if your HP is too low, they'll start flashing red for players and maybe green units?
Not for green units.
Not for green units,
Just for players.
Okay.
We've gotten a couple complaints about the HP bars being too similar to the surrounding boxes, and we can change that eventually. They're easy to change. They're
Yeah,
just simple
UI
palettes.
elements are a big work in progress for us right now.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
They will exist eventually. Something else Bart's asked was if we have plans for players to add their own portrait and possibly palette for their attack units. And would it be possible to add in something like that without even releasing the build file? Well, first off, I think it's worth mentioning that the build file is accessible on GitHub.
Yeah, GitHub.
Whatever people call it.
It's currently slightly broken because I did something stupid with the skill system, and you need Python and Java to build it right now, but I'm gonna fix that soon.
Yeah, but that is accessible, and the plan is, yes, we would like to make it at some point that people can implement their own portraits and or palettes for Tact, but that is very far down the line for us presently.
Yeah, I know.
Though also with the way Snake's mind, who knows, maybe he'll get bored and do it in like next week or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's entirely possible. I do that quite a lot.
Anyway, back to the game. This chapter is interesting, I think, because first off, it's one of the few chapters in Avenir where I feel like you actually truly get rushed. When I played it last night, like reinforcements do start showing up, and they might kick your ass if you dally too long.
It's
I think talk convos just to kind of establish relationships between the characters early. They're not support convos or anything important like that.
Yeah, we will see support rework and base conversation stuff. Which I never actually release support rework.
Good job.
I've got a lot of stuff to do on my to-do list.
Don't we all? But I also think it's worth mentioning that this is the first ever chapter in Avenir that is an escape chapter, where escaping isn't like an alternate objective.
No, we changed Assassin 7 to be an escape chapter.
Assassin 7 is weird.
Oh,
Assassin 7 is a weird exception. I haven't touched the Assassin race in a while, but I still think it's interesting to have an early game escape chapter like this. Also, I didn't get these chests when I played through this last night.
Oh, really?
No, I just sprinted to the escape point.
It's kind of funny.
Because I didn't start my playtest until late, and I was tired, and I wanted to finish it, so I just did this chapter very fast.
Nice.
Also, the music that's playing on player face should be familiar to anyone who has played FE10.
Yes. See, it's a good thing I like FE10 music, because otherwise there would be nothing I like about FE10.
Correct.
Except, okay, I like
FE10.
I like the world map events. Those are cool. They seem nice. Everything else about FE10 is fab. What the hell is the... Oh, okay. Does bab mean bad or good?
Bab?
Yeah.
I generally assume it to mean baby.
I've heard it used in a good-bad context, though.
I don't know.
Whatever. I'm not privy to what the kids say these days.
No,
oh, shit.
Sorry. A quick question from Kitten. Are we going to remove the terrible snowstorm from the snow map, which is one of the military chapters? The answer is I don't know.
Kitten,
we already
you're
made
like
it
the only
last
complaint
time.
on the snowstorm.
I mean, when it originally existed, the snowstorm spawned like turn 4 or 5.
Yeah, it used to be a lot
We at
worse.
least fixed that. It is better than it once was.
Yes. Oh god, oh shit.
Fine. Everything's fine.
Everything is fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's fine. Tact's the only one who actually needs to escape, you know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously. Everyone else can just die.
I mean, the chapter ends when Tact escapes, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay. You're like, did you make the chapter end when everyone escapes?
No.
just making sure. You get turtle with Xena, probably.
Yeah, I definitely can.
All the fancy spells.
Oh yes, I'm a spell junkie.
Every time there's a new spell, it's like, okay, where can we put this in? And I'm a battle animation junkie, so every time there's a new battle animation, it's like, where can we put this in Avenir?
Oh yes.
We like our shiny things that don't really add anything to the game, but we think they do.
I've been told that Avenir is more of a tech demo than a game, which I'm honestly not, like, oof, but also, like, we do very much like our shiny things, and I like my wizardry. So,
I mean,
not
mean,
inaccurate, honestly.
It's not entirely inaccurate.
Yeah.
There's a focus on... Avenir is a game
Yes.
that is not necessarily best built in the GBA, Fire Emblem GBA engine, but we decided to build it in the Fire Emblem GBA engine anyway.
It's a lot of fun to work in the GBA engine, though. It really is.
Yeah, I know Snack fucking loves hacking and everything, so
Yes.
I ain't complaining. That's a killing edge. Hello.
Yeah, I know. That's why I put the pillar there. And if you're really worried about it, you can take it with Xena, so shut up.
Wow. Using the Jagan as a crutch.
Zaheva can almost reliably take it, it's fine. Alright.
We also got a question from, I guess, S. Dot? Or maybe Stot? I don't know how to say the name.
Yeah?
But,
SD hat?
Sure. The A is before the H, but okay. Do we plan to redo/revamp the mercenary route, or will it be left as is? The mercenary routes, some of them will be reworked, some of them will be left largely as is.
Yeah, like, I like the disband route, although I think the text could be more concise.
The disband, so it's like 3 different levels of reworking. The
Yes.
Arcane route is getting very, very...
Oh yeah,
or the
Arcane
Assassin
route is just really bad.
The Arcane route is getting major gameplay reworks, but not major story reworks.
Yes.
The Cesaria route and the Bandit, as we call it, the Bandit Meanie route, as we officially call it, the True Bandit route. Both of those are getting completely reworked post Chapter 4, so Chapters 5, 6, and 7 will be entirely new chapters. I've just straight up created new documents for the scripts and everything, and...
Alright. Let's not go to Chapter 3, because that would be a crash on screen, and that's not good.
Yeah.
So I've set up a save to start on Military Except 3, which has been, I think, reworked a little bit since FEE3. And then from there, if I kill the boss, we can go to Military Except Hold 4, where that's our most recent route.
That is the final military route.
This is the military route that we will see in our upcoming military release.
Yes, which will either be already released by the time of this video's airing, or will be releasing
presumably
at this video's airing, or shortly afterwards. And at that release, the current version of the mercenary routes will all be playable, and all 5 military routes will also be playable, as well as the new prologue being implemented.
Yes.
Don't count on having any magic stuff playable in that release. It probably won't be, because you would have maybe 2 chapters to play.
Right. And don't try to ram hack your way into playing them, because the chapters literally won't exist. I thought of that.
Snack's very clever sometimes.
Sometimes. Not
in terms
on the
of
average.
other Merc route rework stuff, the Assassin route will be left mostly as is. There might be some minor text edits made to it. Same with the Disband route. Most of the changes to the Disband route will actually be felt sooner, with some of the rewriting done to the early Bandit chapters to not make Adla an incredibly vague character. And then the Meanie route, the True Bandit route, as I said, will get an entire full rework along with the Cesaria route.
Yeah.
While Arcane is just getting gameplay rework. So the chapters will play entirely differently, but as far as text and everything goes, it'll be mostly unchanged. And in terms of where that is in the process, I have almost finished writing the new Cesaria route. and I have done the minor text edits I want to do to the Arcanate route. So True Bandit hasn't even started yet in terms of that. I've been kind of bouncing back and forth between magic route stuff and reworking old stuff. And we're also generally trying to work in world map use more between chapters. To maybe
Now that we can just call the world map at will, we can use it a lot now.
Yeah, so sometimes that'll be used kind of how it is in some FE games where it's like a narrator talking.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll actually be used as if all of the characters are gathered around a strategy map. Sometimes how it's used like in FE10 in some of the scenes in FE10 Part 3. Except it'll obviously look a bit different when it's used like that because we don't have 3D models or anything. And we're not really talking story right now because this is a chapter that we saw story-wise last FEE3.
In case you don't know, this is Derek on the middle and Jasper on the far right. Derek in the purple armor. Those are probably the two most memed or iconic characters in Avenir for whatever reason. Probably because they're in literally every single military chapter.
They're in every single military chapter as well as
mercenary.
A few mercenary chapters.
Yeah.
They will not show up in Mage chapters before you ask.
They've got to be the two most common characters.
Outside of Tact at this point.
Well, yeah.
At this point, yes. They are the two most common characters, and I don't think that will ever change.
Probably not.
Because I didn't have Val and Helmer join in Chapter 1 of Mage.
I mean, Xena will be just as common as they are. Oh no, because she doesn't ship anywhere else.
Xena's exclusive to Mage routes.
Ah, yes. We've got different prep themes for different routes now. Chair's written 2 of those so far. This is Life in the Military, which I think is an absolute bomb. We have escape indicators. The route split on this chapter is whether you choose to escape and if you get overwhelmed or if you just want to, you know, lose on the experience and just leave like Noguchi does.
Yeah.
Or kill the boss.
You really don't need the EXP. It's never a problem for me in the next chapter. It has never caused me any problems.
I don't know if we expanded the map in last year's FE3, but it's not really...
The map had not been expanded.
Yeah, it's not really gameplay any happens here, but it's buffer room for reinforcements, which I think is a valid reason to have an oversized map. Really, the gameplay area is much smaller.
You get a bit more forewarning so that maybe you can start backing off if you were trying to kill the boss but decide you don't have the resources or time to do so.
Archer
the enemies here do gradually get stronger.
Apparently Archer Tact is really good.
When we showed this chapter, escape was the only option. And even as recently as the current public playable patch is also this chapter, you have to escape on. Also something specific to Zaheva's class as a spellsword. For Tier 1, the actual class spellsword, not like the type of unit, but the class spellsword for Zaheva. She actually has access to both Anima and Dark Magic, but she can only use E rank. So she can use, like, Fire, Thunder, Wind, Aqua, Flux. Those are the only spells she can use, regardless of her actual weapon rank in those areas.
Right.
And then once she promotes into either Dreadfighter or Battle Sage, she can choose whether to specialize on the other one and get access to those higher levels of magic. That was another way we wanted... That was kind of... We did that mostly to kind of give a little bit more distinction between what defines the Battle Sage class and what defines the Dreadfighter class. I think both Snek and I tend to go Dreadfighter, but...
Yeah. I'll go with Battle Sage sometimes. It depends on just what tome I decide to have Zaheva use, honestly. Which weapon rank is higher. Also, we saw those base conversations last year, so I just skipped them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hope this isn't...
For those who don't know, the supports in this game are most similar to supports in FE9, where it is based entirely on how long what story chapter they're available on. So,
right.
You can get every support for every character in a playthrough. We define them by route. They're unique for each route.
Yep.
And some of them appear in base convos, like the ones that Snek talked about, and some of them appear in talk bubbles, which you can kind of see between Zaheva and Tact here.
Yeah, that's what support rework does in a nutshell. Okay, I think we saw this last time.
It also lets us define support-specific stat boosts. So affinity currently in Avenir has absolutely no effect on anything.
Do we even show it on the stat screen? I think we do.
I don't know. I think we do.
Yeah, we do.
But currently, affinity has absolutely no effect on anything in Avenir. It does not affect sports, it does not affect maps or whatever all affinity does. I never pay attention to affinity, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not good at this game.
What was it? Didn't it do something weird in FE7? Like something negligible for your tactician affinity?
Yeah, it depended on like map affinity, I think. I think that was where map affinities mattered. Also, this music is from Three Houses. This is Fodland Winds. Don't hate on Three Houses, please. I mean, you can, but don't.
I've never played Three Houses, so I don't hate on it if you want, I guess.
My opinion on Three Houses, it had a lot of really good ideas that were not always the best executed.
Sounds like FE10.
Yeah, honestly. I think Three Houses is honestly probably better designed than FE10.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that
Three
hard to
Houses-
be better designed than FE10.
Three Houses is...
And I'm sorry if you like FE10, I just don't like it.
I do like FE10 actually, but I acknowledge that FE10 has a whole shit ton of problems gameplay-wise that make it really unfun to play at certain points in the game. I always find Three Houses fun to play.
Recruitment theme by Chair that I just inserted like less than an hour ago. Because I'm on top of things. Okay, shut up, I've had a busy week, okay? And it didn't help that GitHub had a hemorrhage and reverted all of my skill system changes yesterday or the day before.
It was the day before. It was on Friday.
Yeah, that was not a fun day.
So yeah, we're recording this on Sunday, the day before it's due. This is very typical for us.
Yeah. Shoutouts to these Spellsword class cards that are wonderful. Also sponsored by Bart's. Pi did this one, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Also, the mugs for Adeline and Remus, which we saw last year, were both done by Levin.
Yeah. Jasper is done by Len, and Derek is by Zane.
Yep. We see a lot more custom mugs in these roots because these characters have all been around for a pretty long time.
Yes. We're going to have Spellsword map sprites pretty soon.
Yeah.
But for now, they're just my shitty recolored Myrmidons. Because, you know, I'm a special spriter.
Going back to the soundtrack question Accusatory had asked, was all of the FE8 vanilla music. In general, battle themes and a lot of event themes and stuff will be custom. I think we established a bit ago that we do think that we'll likely keep player phase and enemy phase themes to music from other games, because it's always fun to play a Fire Emblem hack and hear music that you're familiar with.
Yeah.
And composing a player or enemy phase theme that's long enough to still be interesting is also kind of a pain in the ass, so... Most of them will be music. There's a couple that are originals that are thrown in here and there, but...
Yeah, we're not going to be specific
right
or picky
now,
about what's what.
Right now, player phase theme is Fodland Winds from Three Houses. Enemy phase theme is Encounter with Renegades from Tales of Symphonia. No, I did not have to look that up. I just know my Tales music.
Because you're a nerd.
Correct.
Was that the Zanbato Cav? No, that was just a... Okay.
Going through questions again real quickly. Random Wizard asks, are there any characters that I think don't get enough recognition? Honestly, most characters in Avenir get fairly appreciated. I know a lot of people really liked Zaheva after we showed her off.
Zaheva used to be kind of bad, but once I increased her strength a bit, and yeah, she's pretty good.
Yeah.
She's a cool character.
A lot of people really like all of the archers in Avenir because they're all kind of neat characters, and archers in Avenir are generally good.
Yeah, they're very good. Shoutouts to LNL.
Vicar gets credit
Yes.
Kendrick gets enough credit from Snakey1. No one else needs to give him credit.
Honestly, yeah.
If there's anyone that I think just doesn't get like super appreciated in Avenir, it's probably any of the playable soldiers. I'm gonna single out Remus because he's probably the strongest of the playable soldiers.
Remus is very good.
Because of his fucking HP. He
Yeah.
has a really high base HP. He's good.
Helmer is honestly kind of a weak unit, but
So is Val. Val and Helmer are both kind of bad.
yeah, I think we'll
We haven't
see.
touched those chapters in a while.
We'll see Helmer in a cutscene, I think. If not, he's in the next chapter. And Gamma recently did his mug, and he's been denoted as Helmer now because he has a very cool helmet.
Yeah,
people like that
Helmer
now.
because he looks like the sweetest thing, and he is. Helmer's character development is I'm a nice person. So yeah, in short, I feel like most of the characters in Avenir get appreciation. I don't know if I ever would have anticipated that Jasper and Derek would become the main duo.
Yeah, they're like honestly a little generic. Although, no, actually, we kind of developed them after they got a little more attention. Jasper was always supposed to be kind of like, I want a peaceful resolution. But,
which we pushed a lot.
yeah, that's been going
Like half
since
of what he
the
says.
start. And then Derek is just funny.
Derek was intended to just be like that character that's like kinda lazy and yeah. Are you
Just
gonna get the night crest?
In it for the pay. I'm not even gonna bother. I'm going the other way.
You really don't need it.
Yeah, honestly. Oh, hell.
Yeah, this chapter's mean. You can't get that chest without waiting for the thief.
Because, you know. This is kind of unfortunate.
Oh, Random also asked what our biggest mistake / failure was with Legends of Avenir development.
The Arcane route?
Fair.
Yeah.
I think the Cesaria route is worse. But...
Really? I think the Arcane route is worse. Cesaria is pretty bad, but, I don't know. They're both bad, because they were both really rushed. Like, although the Assassin route was our first route, I think it turned out the best, because we put a lot of time into it. And
yeah,
then...
we wanted to make a strong first impression, and then we started rushing a bit too much with the mercenary routes.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them came out badly.
Yeah.
I think my personal biggest mistake with this has always been I'm not always the most organized about my ideas.
Bruh.
Oh no. Oh no.
Bruh.
I'm not always the most organized with my ideas. Just let them die.
Bruh, no.
We don't have time for this.
I will not pass the next chapter of Jasper Dies.
I don't even know if we'll have time to play the next chapter, dude.
Yes, we will. This is fine.
Oh my god.
This is fine. That didn't.
As I was saying,
that didn't
my
happen.
biggest mistakes are I'm not always the most organized with my ideas, so sometimes I repeat myself or leave off key information in my writing, as well as sometimes I double cross my thinking myself on my thinking, and I think, well, this wouldn't make sense, so I'm gonna change it up and do it a different way, and then it makes even less sense. Case in point, the entirety of the True Bandit route is just me double-crossing myself every other chapter on what I actually wanted it to be. I was too hesitant early on in Avenir to write a truly evil route where you are actually, like, an antagonistic force.
Yeah,
Now that I've played 3 houses and I've seen Edelgard, and I've watched Legends of Korra, and I've seen Kuvira, I think I now know how to make a slightly justified antagonistic route. And so we're gonna try it again.
Nice. I kind of wanted the, Kill Rex mercenary route, or military route to be like that, but that's okay. It's kind of antagonistic.
I mean, it is. You side with debatably one of the main antagonists in the world of Avenir.
Okay, but you don't really know it at the time.
That route might get changed at some point, honestly, in terms of writing. There's a level that I come up with better ideas after I've already finished ideas, and then at that point, we're in the mindset of moving forward, so we can always update things rework things super quickly.
I've definitely made quite a few big mistakes, like, I mean, early on in the build file, I didn't do my organization amazingly. And so, like, I'm still being riddled by, you know, like spaces and file names and stuff like that now that I'm using the command prompt more. But I'm just slowly rectifying those, trying to be more efficient than I should be by, like, trying to use the skill system as a GitHub submodule. Just fucking crashed and burned, which I shouldn't have tried to do, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And of course, like, rushing chapters before they really should have been released.
Yeah.
This is rough.
You didn't pin the Kitten's question about if there will be a Myrmidon Barret show.
Oh no.
The answer is probably not.
Aww.
Though I will say, Barret does show up in the Mage routes. I might slip it into a support conversation or something. For those who don't know, Barret is a playable soldier in one of the mercenary routes. But he was a Myrmidon in the original versions of the game. But no matter what you did, there was always another Myrmidon who would join a chapter later, who was just objectively better than Barret. So we ultimately decided, since there were so many potential sword attacks for the mercenaries, Merc and because of Arya joining the following chapter, we decided to make Barret a soldier instead, because there's not a lot of lance users in the Mercers.
Yeah. So Barret is
Cher
now a
asked
soldier.
who made Dank Tunes. You did, Cher. Leave us alone. There's also... We've got a couple of loaded questions from Esor that I just haven't gotten to yet. But, one question is, how do you guys approach balance? I don't know. How do we approach balance, Nick?
How did you hit Zaheva?
Skill.
Yeah. Alright. How do I approach balance?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no penalty in, like, just trying out, like, sneezing units onto a screen and then just slowly kind of making them better. And then if it's really just unsalvageable, like you really screw up the placement, then you can always just start over. So that's normally kind of my way to do things. It sounds a little unprofessional, but it takes a while to kind of rectify the placement. So in the end, I think it normally works.
It's the sort of thing where there's no shame in trying multiple times and not getting it right the first time.
Absolutely, especially if I'm the only one who sees it. Like, what do I care if I make bad unit placement the first n number of times?
Yeah. Snack generally plays through each chapter numerous times before even I ever get to actually see it for the first time. Then I get to play through it once or twice before it hits our playtesters. Even our playtesters get some time to play through it before it actually gets released. So it's just kind of, it's a slow process, having playtesters, having people who are constantly giving you feedback and everything, and you just figure what works and what doesn't out with time.
Archer Tact ain't turning out great this time.
He's an archer, what do you expect?
I mean, he was really good when I tested
names
this.
Of places/people. I put random sounds together and see if it works.
Amazing.
I mean, specifically, like, some names are recommended by friends, like Lakshmi, the boss of Chapter 1, was recommended. That was a name recommended to me by a friend. Adeline, the truncation of her name, because she used to be Madeline.
Ah, yes.
Her name got truncated to Adeline.
For technical reasons.
By request of a friend. Technical reasons, exactly. But, I just kind of... For the really out there names, I generally put sounds together.
Bruh!
You're bad. But, it just kind of depends. Like, Arcane, obviously, that name comes from the word arcane. I don't think that one was subtle. Althea actually doesn't come from Shadow Dragon. It comes from altitude. Bakroon was random sounds thrown together. Shizun and Cesaria both came from the same thing, I was thinking of a city from the Tales of Vesperia prequel movie.
Also Caesarea, like, you know, Caesar.
Sure. That was definitely what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Hadric and Vathril were actually also names recommended by a friend, like, 6 years ago.
Damn.
Before Avenir ever started. I had those names in my back pocket for things. Yeah, for the most part, random nonsense or Google and cool video names.
I mean,
what
just
ideas
mashing name generators works pretty well.
Ideas that were planned that didn't quite work out, most of them.
Yeah,
actually,
honestly.
To a degree, I'm always amazed by what crazy ideas I can throw out there, and then Snake's like, oh yeah, we can do that. Like, the Spellswords were actually largely my idea to begin with, and I had no idea that they were going to be remotely possible. And it took a bit. But we figured it out. Same with the character creator, as it is right now.
I mean, the menu system in FEGBA, or, I mean specifically, well yeah, FEGBA is extremely versatile. It's like, if you can do it in C, it's not hard to work with once you learn how to draw stuff on the screen.
Yeah. So, most ideas that we try tend to work out well. There's a few that have always been, like, a little bit of a struggle, because, like, there was one point where we thought we might want a character who kind of acted as a double agent between Caesarea and Shizun.
Oh, yeah.
But, there just wasn't necessarily time for that with how short things are in Avenir generally. But, a lot of story beat ideas are generally what tends to not work out super well, like True Bandit.
Yeah.
The original vision for True Bandit wasn't going to work out just because it was going to be really, really out there.
OG True Bandit, oof.
There's a lot of those that are out there.
There we go.
Also, OG Bandit disband. Really all of the Bandit roots.
Yeah,
I mean, a time.
I think the early Bandit chapters are fun, but Disband, I think gameplay-wise is pretty alright, but the story is very chonk.
Yeah. I still like it. It's probably my favorite route, if only because you get Ethel.
Oh yeah, Ethel's just... I don't care that he's not balanced, he's just fun.
He doesn't need to be balanced.
Yeah, he really doesn't.
Cilia has an iron rune, he doesn't need to be balanced. I mean, he can still two-shot her generally, but it's fine.
Okay, you don't have like a heavy spear, do you? Oh my god, Mr. Paladin's already here. Alright, I can probably do this.
You can probably kill Sean on the next turn.
Maybe?
If you gangbang him.
Yeah. I mean, Remus is out of range, I think.
We won't talk about the fact that I just said that.
Don't worry about it. Sean is tough. This chapter is very tough.
Yeah, this chapter was designed to not necessarily be the easiest thing.
Jesus Christ. Oh.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Jasper, for being an amazing unit.
Jasper's broken as fuck, dude.
Jasper's amazing.
Jasper, good unit. 10 out of 10.
Alright. You double? Yes. Bruh!
Bruh, because I have a blues.
How much do I have to get you down to?
Yep.
Okay. We're fine.
You're not gonna feed the killed attack?
No, because Derek's gonna die.
Oh, yeah, okay. Right. That's a thing.
I don't want to kill Derek. Okay, Derek, don't miss.
It's Avenir. It's Avenir.
It's
Avenir RNG.
fine. Yes.
Flashy kills.
Oh yeah, there's the flashing HP bar.
Smack. I may or may not have forgotten to set up my timer. What are we at?
55. So we'll watch the
We'll watch the intro cutscene.
Intro.
And we'll play the next chapter.
If there are any more questions, we should get through them now.
We have gotten a few more questions.
We have?
Yep.
Nice. Okay. Blaine.
Blaine definitely not Harkin.
No, absolutely not. Who, me? Siri be like.
Double check questions. Oh, Bart had asked if there were any plans to add magic staff wielding Pegasi to Mage route. No, there's not.
Oof.
That is a unique class specific to one of tax promotions.
Text box a little long.
Bruh.
Bruh yourself.
Also, once we hop into the chapter, if you can debug tact to level 10.
Oh, yeah.
And then Master Seal?
Right. We might have
Or you can
time.
debug tact to level 15.
See, the thing is, I don't know if, like, an hour for FE3 is a hard limit, or, like, you know, if, like, an hour and 2 minutes is okay.
Oof.
I don't know, we can trim it, I guess.
Yeah. I honestly never saw that it was a hard limit. All I ever saw was recommendations to not go over an hour.
Yeah. I mean, if it's
But I'm not in
the
the
thread, it's
server
fine.
for it.
I mean, honestly, like, if they said that just in the server and not in the thread, then that would be,
That's on them.
It's fine. I mean, it's not like last year. Sorry about last year.
Yeah.
We had fun, though.
We are very sorry
had
about
fun.
the Avenir feature-length film of last year. It's fucking as long as, if not longer than,
I mean,
Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
You didn't...
Non-extended.
I mean, you didn't have to watch it. We were just proud of our new route. Rip Remus. It's absolutely wrecked by Blaine.
Blaine's not a nice person.
Why is it that both of the playable soldiers we have are just like, I'm just nice and cuddly?
Because soldiers are generic.
Then Derek
Roger
over
that.
here is just chonker. Just in it for the pay.
Yeah. He wants food, he wants money.
Feed the beast.
Me casually going to the FEE3 thread to check.
Yeah, I don't think we got questions on the FEU thread, just people repeatedly saying that there's patching errors, which
Yeah, because
will be
someone
fixed
hasn't
in the next release.
Someone hasn't updated it.
Hey, it's not ready. Hello, Cork Cougar. Cougar's palette looks pretty nice.
Yeah. Cougar should be getting a new mug soon, too.
Yeah. You can also fly, Cougar. That's how you got out of there. Why would you rescue the vice captain? He's a dick.
Because to not do so would technically be insubordination.
Shh. What is this, the military?
Something like that.
More chair music. Optimistic attack theme plays, his plane just gets murdered.
Your Malwarebytes is on my Discord stream and it's funny.
Yeah, I know, it's not on OBS, it's fine.
Good.
Don't worry about it. Malwarebytes gives me a free trial. Malwarebytes, we're going to automatically do scans. Also Malwarebytes, when we do scans, your computer is unusable. Malwarebytes is malware.
I think it's more of a your computer issue.
It's definitely Malwarebytes.
I can do things perfectly fine with Malwarebytes with scanning fine.
Okay, well, your computer isn't like 10 years old.
Well, like I said, I think it's a computer issue.
Alright, so I'll just... Bye-bye. Oh yeah, this is Val by Gamma. We did not see Helmert. That's okay. I'll just promote Tact really quick to show what we did with the triple promotions.
Yep.
Ah!
You're gonna need to debug him to up to level 10.
Okay. Oh, level isn't on here. I'd have to actually ram hack it.
Oh, bruh.
Do you want me to do that really fast?
How quickly can you do that?
Pretty quickly.
Go for it.
Alright.
To explain while he does this, we have changed the way in which tact promotions work. Because there were some complaints about people not wanting the unique classes, as well as the fact that you don't get any sort of confirmation screen when you go to promote to one of the unique classes. So basically now, when you go to promote one of your tacts, you have access to the unique class for that particular tact.
Alright.
Or you will have access to the original FE8 promotions, or whatever, if we've made alterations to those in Avenir, which I don't think we have in any cases, but on the options we have.
Man, I've never ram hacked an MGBA before. Where is level again? It should be, here it is. I think. No, it's probably here. No. Oh, A. There we go.
Now, Konami code.
There we go. Yeah, debug features are fun.
Bit of a lack of professionalism bias here at the end, but you know.
Shh. So yeah, we Tact can now promote into the 2 vanilla classes that one would normally promote to, as well as a special 3rd promotion. Archer Tact gets pretty good once he promotes, because he starts being able to use swords. Man. Did I just debuff Archer Tact too much, or has he just gotten bad strength and speed growths?
I don't know.
He has pretty good base speed, that's the thing, and growth. So, I don't know. Oh well.
Who knows?
Well,
Anyway, I think that is all we really have time for, first
Yeah.
off, and that's also all we really intended to show off. So, I hope that you all who are watching this are enjoying FEE3. Be sure to check out our FEU page and our Discord if you want to get updates on development and stuff, or if you just want to hang out with us. If you do want to hang out with us, you might be a little bit weird, but yeah. So be sure to check out all the other projects at FEE3. Hope that you are all doing well amidst this crazy time in our world.
oh yeah.
And I think that that will be it for us, unless you have anything you want to add, Snick?
Not really, just stay safe, have fun at FE3. I know there are a lot of projects this year, so hope you can see a lot of them.
For sure.
Well, guess we're signing off then.
Thank you all for watching.
Yep. Ciao.